He said that that's really not what his book was intended to teach people, is only to work 4 hours a week.
Yeah. It's
He,
just to open their eyes to the fact that it's possible to cover your basics with that much time spent.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Basically, it's about how to do more with less, how to produce way more out of way less time. And, that's all about compounding your time, just being more effective, realizing what does work and what doesn't work, and then deleting the stuff that doesn't work and
Yeah.
refining what does work to make it work better. Works really well.
Yeah. Yeah, being efficient with your time is definitely, especially when you become someone who's self-employed, it's kind of critical.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, really hard, actually, at first. I know it was for me when I first started out. Like, I was like playing too many video games and not really focusing so much on the business. And then I was like, oh crap, I have this bill coming up. What do I do? And then it was like crunch time for like the last 4 days before the bill was due because, I hadn't really worked enough during the month to cover my bills
Yeah.
yet. And then, eventually it evolves to where you don't really have to worry too much about your bills and you just kind of like work when you feel like you need to be productive. And I feel
Yeah.
like, I feel like just working when you're at maximum capacity does so
For
much
efficiency.
more. Yeah, exactly. Does so much more than just working all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. You can get like that. That's one thing I kind of live my life by is that like I try and develop a lifestyle that puts me in situations where I want to do the things that are good for me and good for my future. Whereas that's why I've always emphasized free time so much, is because in the past, like when I worked at Starbucks, there are things that I knew were good for my future, but I would be too tired from issues at work or having a long day there and doing other stuff and having a life that I wouldn't do those things that would change my life. And so having the free time just put me in a point where like I get bored of stuff and then like I have so much time that I get to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm done watching TV now. That is boring. I am done playing this game. I feel bored. I want to do something interesting. So then move on to doing the work that will change my life, you know? And it's so lucky, honestly, to be able to do that, to be able to have enough free time that like I can relax and then just get bored of relaxing, because most people, they don't ever get to that point because they don't have enough free time. They have like maybe an hour or two a day that they can spend how they want, and if they had 4 hours, then they would just watch TV for an hour or two, get bored, and then maybe do something, that changes their life. But because they only have an hour, it never gets to that point. They never get bored of doing the relaxing, recovering actions. It's tricky.
Yeah. Do you ever find that you have trouble relaxing sometimes?
Definitely. That's why I smoke pot.
I feel you on that, dude. I sometimes, like, I'm so wound up from just, working that, like, it's hard for me to, like, just let it go and forget about
Yeah.
it and just,
That's really important. You have to be able to, like, if you can't hold one thing in your mind all the time. Otherwise, you become, like, controlled by it and really, really blind. You have to be able to put it down and distract yourself with something else and actually be doing that something else, not just be thinking in your head like drop shipping, drop shipping, drop shipping, drop shipping. Like that's something that it's taken me a long time to learn, that it's best to say that I'm interested in like making a new list of items, or I have that kind of enthusiasm about recording videos. What's best is to use it, but not do it until I don't want to anymore. It's best to actually stop while I still want to do the work, because then I don't burn myself out, and I still have that desire to finish the thing that I was working on, or to keep moving and to keep that interest going. And in the past, what I would do is I would be so excited about this idea, this thing I'm thinking about, and I think I have to do this now. If I don't do this now, I'm not going to do it. It's not going to work. I have to do this now. And that what would happen is that I would do a lot of work at once, but ultimately in the long run, I was shooting myself in the foot, because I would work my ass off for a day or two, and then I would crash, and then I would lose track of whatever it was that I was interested in. And so it took a long time for me to understand that it's really important to just do things in chunks and don't use all of my energy up. That's something that has taken a long time to get to really understand.
Yeah, I feel you with that. Yeah, what I started doing was I started like I don't carry a phone on me anymore when I leave
Yeah.
my house because if I do, then I'll be on Facebook messaging people, trying to network, and looking at sales,
Yeah.
messaging people on eBay, and doing whatever with that. And then like, so I found like if it's relax time, I shut off my internet. I turn off my computer. I shut off my phone. And once you do that, there's like this almost sort of comfort. It's like calming sensation that, oh, everything's off. It doesn't matter if somebody messages me. I don't have to message them back right now. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go play guitar.
Do something, yeah. And that's really important to have that part where you're working, then afterwards you're done and you're doing other things. And usually having like a group of people you're close to is really, really helpful. For me, like running the YouTube channel, sometimes the comments can get like I get hurt by the comments, right? My feelings get hurt sometimes. And so the best way to handle that, in my experience, is when you have a group of friends or just a close friend or two, and you can do your work for the day and then just go talk to them, talk about their lives, just like get lost in them, and then just it's completely separate from everything else, and it really helps realize that, oh, everything's okay. It's just work, But if work is your life, everything feels way more overwhelming. So
That is so true, though. That is so true. It's funny. Like you make a mistake and it like ruins you for like a couple days sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Sweet, man. All right. Well, I think that was a good talk, man. Definitely. I like talking to you, Jack. You're a very informative guy.
Yeah, it's fun talking to you too, man. I'm doing a lot of these Skype calls. This is kind of, I don't remember if it was you I was talking to this about, but I'm working on setting up some kind of podcast. So, because I'm already doing the Skype calls, I already do like 3 or 4 a week. So why not just change the way I introduce it? And I'm also making a YouTube video and I get a podcast episode out of it. Because I wouldn't have to do any extra work. I just have to kind of change the format of how I'm recording a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking into that. And it would probably be another appeal of these kind of conversations is that they can, like, I don't have to be actively dropshipping to have these conversations with people. A lot of the conversations come from the YouTube network and just being able to find the people and have the conversation in the first place. That's where the tricky part is. So just,
Have you ever thought about live streaming it at all?
Yeah, live streams are like, for right now, my internet is, I could do live streams, but it's just a little bit too finicky at the moment. I work off of like a 4 megabit download speed connection and like a 1 megabit upload speed.
Yeah, that's not
So
gonna
it
cut
just isn't, yeah, it's just not really that great for it. And there are ways to work around that. But it's just easier for me to wait until I'm back in the States before I start doing any live streaming. And live streaming is also like, I have no problem committing to daily published videos, because like what tends to happen is I get in a recording mood and then I record like 7 or 8 videos and then I can publish those for a week. Whereas if I have to be in a certain mood at a certain time every day, I haven't yet achieved the regularity necessary in my life to fuel that. So that's why I prefer scheduled stuff at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sweet, man. Nice. Have you ever thought about maybe doing a podcast, but it has like 4 or 5 people instead of just 2?
Yeah, it's all things I'm open to. It definitely, like, the more people you have, especially with the podcast where there's no video, people have to know what they're doing more. You can't really like talk over people, and audio quality becomes more important. And if you have 5 people, there needs to be some kind of mechanism that's like establishing who's talking and that kind of thing. It gets more. It's definitely doable, but we'll see.
Sweet, man.
It would be kind of cool to do something with like 5 different YouTubers.
Right? That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking. Get like Becky Anderson in here and like Mark Augustine or some other people.
yeah, yeah. I just talked to Becky and Paul yesterday. Did videos asking them about they both sell courses on dropshipping. So I did videos asking about their experience making courses, why they chose to make the platforms that they use, other things that came up. So it was a good conversations.
That's good. That's good. Are you a member of Paul's Titan dropshipping group?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's up. I haven't actually
It's a good
taken his
group.
course. Is it a pretty good course or?
As far as I can tell, it looks solid. Like he just gave me access to the course yesterday, so I haven't taken it yet. But from what I can tell in the Facebook group, the Facebook group itself is really responsive. Like much more responsive than other groups that I've seen, in particular about like when new people ask questions. In a lot of groups, new people asking basic questions about dropshipping goes ignored, which is funny because you can dropship for like 30 days and be able to answer those questions. So the majority of people in the groups could actually answer those questions, but yeah, the group seems fine. Of course, I've seen the overview. I talked to Paul about it. It looks very solid. It's like kind of the opposite direction that my course took. So the idea of my course is just to continuously make it bigger and bigger and bigger and put as much information about working from home as possible into it. Like, so it's going to get bigger over the years, right? And whereas Paul's course is specifically like, okay, this is how you start. This is exactly what you do first, and this is what could go wrong here. This is how you handle that. This is the next thing that you need to do, and then you need to do this. He's laid everything out, which works really, really well for a lot of people. I think that's something that people definitely want, is laid out courses. I just took a different approach for my course because of my like long-term interests and also myself as a person.
Right. Makes sense. That's cool though. Nice, man. All right. Well, I think that's good for today. So
Sweet.
I appreciate the time. Thank you, Jack. Definitely
No
appreciate
worries,
it.
man. We'll do more calls.
Sounds good, mate. All right. Well, hey, man, you have a wonderful day and be safe out there, okay?
Yeah, you too. Ciao.
Ciao.